welcome back. I'm Tedward and welcome to the all-new 2023 Chevrolet Colorado WT, the work truck. This is the workhorse. This is basically the cheapest version of the Colorado that you can get, but it's not cheap. There's a lot of cool features on this. We've got the quad cab and the short bed. We dig that, but man, I love a stripper pickup truck. We've got these great little steel wheels, really no frills, and I gotta say, in white, it's giving me Home Depot rental truck vibes all over, except when you're driving it, when you get in and you see the features, especially the fact that it's got Apple CarPlay, it's no longer just some miserable thing you're driving. It's not a terrible thing to have in your life. Right here, we've got our bed with all the beautiful optional liner, and in here, there's a little bit of extra storage. This is pretty trick. So if we pop these out like this lifts up, giving you some hidden and locked storage space. And if you don't want this tailgate to lie flat, you can pop this in like so, and there you go. Now she's got some angle on her. To help you get in and out or retrieve things, you still have this great little side step that we saw on the Silverado. I like that. But the real star of the show is the new powertrain, this 2.7 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. This is the lowest power level here, so 237 horsepower, 259 pound-feet of torque. We don't have any fancy hood struts here because we are in the lower trim level, but you can see that is set nice and low and as far back as possible. Not the prettiest thing, but hey, I do appreciate when they don't put a bunch of frilly plastic over it. So probably get a little more injection noise than you would if there was some foam covering. In the lower power level, this is only rated to tow about 3,500 pounds. In the rear, we still have a pretty nicely appointed back seat setup. When I say that, I mean you've got HVAC back here, so there is going to be air blowing and plenty of legroom. That's not so bad. No sunroof, no frilly things here, and a nice view of this new infotainment system. Up front, we've got power seats with actually far more adjustments than you would think. The fact that this has adjustable lumbar support, man, oh man, you don't even get that on a 4-way adjustable Porsche seat. Come on. Inside the new Colorado, you can get really nice and low in this seat actually for a truck. And even though this is like the entry-level baby light pickup, it still feels like a truck. I still feel like that's a nice tall hood. I don't feel like I'm on the ground at all. It feels substantial. The wheel does not telescope, but not entirely necessary because I think the pedal placement is pretty darn good. And to start, we have our key fob tucked away right here. I dig that. And then start-stop button here. Not too theatrical with the startup, but we've got a clever little rev counter up to about 5,500 RPM, looks to be the red line on this. And I am thankful that we still have like normal controls, even though this is still, you know, the entry level, almost stripper version of the vehicle. They didn't do some funky buttons, although we do have an easy way to go from 2-wheel drive to 4-wheel drive. Keep it in auto. Down here, we've got our auto start stop feature on or off, and our lane assist. I'm going to turn the lane assist off because I don't like lane assist. It drives me nuts. Plenty of enthusiasm coming from this little 2.7 liter, and let's see what this turning radius is like. Not excellent, not bad, gets the job done. We've got plenty of space here. Eight-speed doing nice work for us, keeping us in the power band. And this little turbo, it spools up pretty quick, so it feels like there's good torque most of the time. Now, it's not fast by any means, but it gets out of its own way, and it doesn't feel anemic. little bouncy over some of the bumps, as to be expected. You know, it's a pickup truck, so that's the thing. When it's unloaded, there's nothing in it right now but me. I don't weigh much, so it's certainly going to feel a little bouncy. But the steering is direct and connected. There's a little bit of body roll, which, you know, I think could be a little bit of fun in a corner. The brakes feel smooth and progressive. And there's the competition. A beat up white Tacoma. Where there is a tennis ball, there might be a dog. Okay, no dog, no child. Always good. Okay, good. We didn't hit any stray animals. It's a beautiful day out here. I have tons of visibility despite not having a sunroof in this thing. I actually have a lot of light in the cabin, which I'm digging. And if you can notice how aggressive this hood looks from the driver's seat, that's pretty great. It's giving me this Camaro vibe where you're like, ooh, we're looking out over the big block hood, you know? All right, we're behind the world's least ambitious RX 300, except for now, she wants to come over here. What a nightmare. Oh, California highways. There's our brake warning. Don't worry, we got you. So let's see what the passing speeds are like on the low trim level. Wide open. Right. I mean, it gets the job done. It's nothing incredible. To me, the power upgrade on this vehicle has more to do with towing capacity, because with the lower towing capacity with this 8-speed transmission, apparently there's some different tweaks between the higher output engine and the lower output engine with how they set up the transmission. So that probably has a lot to do with why the low output engine will only tow 3,500 pounds, whereas the high output engine will do 7,700 pounds. That's a big difference, and that's really the difference between someone who wants to tow something and someone who doesn't want to tow anything. Give this guy plenty of room. Overall, not too loud on the freeway. This is a loud freeway, by the way, so if you're living somewhere that doesn't have like these nightmarish concrete freeways, then it'll be even quieter, but I think that's pretty darn acceptable. I do like driving a pickup truck just because I've got the vantage point. I feel like I can see up above everybody. I'm starting to sound like my mother. That's why everyone moved to SUVs. I can really see the road. In terms of what you touch in the vehicle, that's where you start to feel like you are at the bottom of the range. This isn't like the worst plastic wheel I've felt, but you know, it's a plastic wheel. There's no faux leather or anything. There's a little bit of perforation here to differentiate top from sides, but overall, yeah, you're getting what you're getting, but that's the idea. It's probably extra cheap and extra durable. So that way, no matter what's going on with this vehicle, if it acts as a fleet vehicle or if it's just some chuck around thing on the ranch, it doesn't matter if you're poking it or scratching it because you're not going to be tearing leather. Look at the beautiful Pacific Ocean. Man, this is what I love about Southern California. Just driving down the street in traffic and you're getting irritated with cars, and then suddenly, boom, the Pacific. So good. A little vague from the steering. you know, it's not giving me all I would like to get through my fingertips. But then again, I mean, we're in a pickup truck, and I need to remember that we're not evaluating a sports car. It's intuitive to drive. I'm not getting lost in it. And if I don't get lost in it, then you certainly won't, especially if you're used to driving pickups. Now, this one does come with the optional locking rear differential. I would highly recommend that if you're going to go for the four-wheel drive version anyway. And if you're just trying to keep the cost down, then you're going to forgo the slightly more expensive seats with the power adjustability. You're going to forgo the four-wheel drive if you don't need it. I mean, there are always ways to get into these for very cheap, and you can do it for under 30 grand if you so choose. Now, I'm not somebody who needs to tow a lot of things, but I do love the idea of just having a pickup truck that I can throw stuff in and park literally anywhere. Because if somebody dented this, like, sure, it would be my baby, it would be my car, I would of course respect it, but I don't think it would be life-changing if I got a ding in my WT spec Chevy Colorado. And even with the lowest trim engine, it's not terribly slow. It gets the job done. So I'm going to go park this up. Thank you guys so much for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. Don't forget to respect the drive, and I'll see you in the next one. And it's got a pretty nice reverse camera here with parking sensors, which is super helpful with the top-down view as well. That tells me how close I am to the curb. This 8-speed auto, it's pretty smooth, it's shifting seamlessly, and the torque provided from the 2.7 liter turbo is actually pretty refreshing. I'm not having to put much effort into my right foot to get what I need. So I'm not like feeling like I gotta wind the thing out. It definitely seems like that turbo spools up really low down.